if you watch the careers of actors, you know
Mhm.
that the vast majority of them, you never know who they are, but you see them in a million movies.
Yeah.
And you don't even think about them. They're the characters that you see. Every once in a while, an actor will get very lucky and they'll be in
Yes.
WKRP in Cincinnati or Taxi or some TV show. And that'll be the peak of their career. That'll be really special. And after that, they'll still have a career, but that's what people remember them for. You
Yeah.
have something like that. You are the voice of the plane train in Atlanta, and it's been surprisingly durable for you. Uh, that's a unique thing. It doesn't make you better than anybody else, but it is a wonderful thing that happened to you. How
It is
has
a wonderful thing that happened to me. It
yeah did
really, it is.
and I'm not saying when I say it doesn't make you better, I don't mean you didn't earn
No,
it or
it
you don't
doesn't make
deserve
me
it.
better because I just say the next stop is Concourse A. It absolutely doesn't make me better. It makes me grateful, lucky, excited. I hope that my daughter, I'm still the train voice when she's like in elementary school and she can be like, hey, that's my mom.
Yeah,
I also
yeah.
know that at any minute they could put another voice in there. Tomorrow I could wake up and not be the plane train voice. So
Mm,
I try to not get too kind of enamored with the whole thing. Just I sort of live in the gratitude of the moment
yeah.
with it.
And I meant not to minimize the fact that you did get that job, which took some doing. You did what you were very what's the word? You showed a lot of initiative to get that job, didn't you?
I did. Yeah, I did.
So
I mean,
talk
it
about it.
wasn't, I mean, okay. I always thought I wasn't like, creating strategies, but I did contact once I figured out who the person was at the airport that is in charge of the voice, I did contact him. So it was, it's you, I'm sure you know this also, like it's this weird combination of like, I could have contacted him 50 times and nothing would have happened. I mean, it was
Yeah.
still ultimately timing
Hmm.
because the first time I contacted him, they were building a different train. They were building the train that, the rental car center used to be in the airport, and then they took it off site.
Right.
So I was the voice of that train first because they were like, "Oh, you know what? We are building a train right now. We could use your voice for that." So it's initiative, but it's also timing. It's not like I did this incredible, creative brief and strategy and presented to them why I should be the voice of the plane train. It was, I we do share a grandma, if it's okay if I say that. And she would say, "You make your own luck."
Yeah.
So that's exactly what that was. I mean, yes, sometimes you just work really, really hard at something, um, and it happens. But in this case, I just made my own luck. Like I reached out to them, but I was also lucky.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
getting this WKRP, did it change your life?
WKRP,
What I'm saying is this
analogy
was
wise.
yeah, analogy wise, this was something really special that was durable and identified you uh, as more than just a voice talent. You were the plane train lady. So did that change your career or was it really just there?
I think it does just in the sense that like it's nice to have something. I mean, first of all, not everybody knows what the plane train is. Not everybody like I was out in like I think it was LA. I was somewhere where
Hmm.
no one knew who the plane train was. And somebody was like bragging on me, and maybe it was like a friend, like, hey, she's the voice of the plane train, and they were just like, the what? So I think,
The plane train.
it's an Atlanta
Yeah.
thing, and I
But
think it's like
busiest airport in the world though. I mean, come on.
it is. But even so, it's like, okay, like, yeah, I mean, it's cool. But it's okay, what did you ask me? I'm sorry. What was the
No,
original?
how did it change? Did it change your career? Did it?
Yeah, I mean, certainly if I'm gonna meet if five different voiceover people are gonna meet someone and I can say I'm the plane train, like, and that person, when I say meet someone who can hire voiceover people, like, it's kind of like Harvard, right? Like, it's pretty nice, it's cool to say that you went to Harvard.
Yeah.
So that's it. It's like the quick little Harvard of voiceover people moment if I need it.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I still have to be good at what I do. I still have to deliver that brand promise, you
Mhm.
know? So it's there's you can be a really awful person to work with and still be the voice of something, and that doesn't do anything for you if your reputation isn't good. So I do work hard on making sessions fun and getting to know people and trying to find like reciprocity, like thank you for helping me, how can I help you, like creating a creative bubble that we can all play in. It's so much bigger than just like I'm the voice of the plane train. Like I know better than that, like that could go away at any second. I'm super grateful, it's great, and yes, it's kind of Harvard of voiceover. that's a terrible comparison because one is intellectual, but you know what I'm saying?
I
It's
do.
a name dropping moment, but there's so much that's more important than that. And also remembering like people can name drop someone in sports, and I'd be like, I don't really know who you are. So,
Yeah.
you know, it, yeah. I mean, I remember this grandma that you know of, like,
I've
I
heard
don't,
of her. Yes.
yeah, I don't think she really got it. You know, I was like, I couldn't wait to tell her, like, you know, and she didn't. Well, okay, you know, so for every wow, that's so cool is like the so what's that, you know?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
but do I love it? Is it wonderful? Is it a tie to my history, my family here? Something I'm very, as you know, like in love with and proud of is like our tribe here. Yeah, it's a wonderful little fact.
Yeah, that's nice. Well, let's go the opposite direction. I'm
Okay.
curious if you'll be
About to get really sad here. Like what?
yeah, yeah, you do. If you're
Oh,
willing to share, you don't have to cry. Be
okay.
authentic, okay?
Okay.
If you
Under imaginary circumstances.
I want you to share at least one harrowing moment for you when things were just really rough or you thought you were done for real.
It's hard to say because the for real, I'm too stubborn with the for reals. Like, even if I think I'm all done, I just like fight until someone like knocks me out.
Right.
So I don't think there was a moment where there were definitely moments where I was like, I don't know if this is worth the fight. I mean, there were, and there still sometimes are. I'm like, am I going to be replaced by a machine?
Yeah,
Um,
right, right, right.
I
Right.
would, I mean, I can't remember. This is not going to be the most dramatic story, but I do remember that there was a time when I was sort of like transitioning into doing it full time. I don't think I was doing it full time yet. I don't think I was. Um, And I had noticed, like, that anytime there was sort of like this weird silence, this uncomfortable silence, if I just kind of pushed through, something exciting would happen. Like, I was like, oh, is that coincidental or is it a pattern? So there was this, that was sort of along the way. And then I remember there was this time where I was remembering that. I was feeling really anxious and I was just like, why would you think that you could do this? And um, I was doing it, but, like, why would you think you can really do it? And then I just remember saying, like, "Hold on. Remember that thing that you know that, like, you hold on when it's even scarier, sometimes, like, really cool stuff comes." And that's when I booked my first animated series, which was a
Mm.
TV show that ran on Fox Kids. And so I don't remember, like, all the lead up or why I was so depressed or why I was so freaked out. I mean, I was, like, in my 20s living in New York, so, like, why wouldn't I be, you know?
Yeah, right.
That was a breakthrough. So I do have, like, those moments still, and then I'm just like, "Hang on. You put in a lot of work, like, something really cool can come of this." So, not too dramatic, no tears, but I have to really, really remind myself of that.
Well, you've talked about what your aspirations are, and you still have
Yeah,
them, and I love that. What do you think the future of the industry is generally?
I have no idea. I
Yeah.
think we all talk about that, like, a lot of voiceover people were just like, is AI voices going to totally kill us? Or is it going to kill sort of, like, part of us? Like, I'm like the IVR, interactive voice response, which is when you can kind of chat with a persona when you
Mhm.
call, a phone number. So I'm the voice of, like, I think it's 800 different credit unions, like, all around the country. I've been working all these and I'm like, "Thank you for calling. Did you say 2? Okay, 2." So I do so much of that, and, like, I feel like it's a matter of time before AI voices kinda do that. We
Yeah,
already
sure.
kinda sound like AI voices, or AI voices sound like us. I don't even know what that I don't know. It's
Mhm.
2 all in one thing now. Um, so we're all like, "Okay, is it gonna kill, like, a corner of the industry? And if it does, it'll probably kill that. But will it kill this?" And then, like, promos, like, is streaming winning or is streaming losing? And, like, will there be a need for appointment time TV? Um, so, we don't know. On the other hand, there's never been more projects that need voices because everybody's a creative now. There's companies that pop up left and right. I mean, you and I could be like, you know what, tomorrow let's do video work. Let's create some videos for people. And in probably a matter of a couple weeks, we could be set up, you know. hire a salesperson somewhere in, Bangladesh or, overseas and let them do, and then we've created a business. So creating a business is no longer this thing that like these aspirational entrepreneurial people do. It's like we have access to build our own teams, So I've seen like an explosion of just sort of like little companies making videos. So, and all kinds of things. So there's kind of more opportunity than ever. There's also more competition than ever. And then there's threats like AI. And I just don't know.
Yeah.
Anytime there are disruptive technologies, I felt very cool just saying disruptive. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that cool word.
Get out.
Yeah. I'm a pundit.
Yeah.
Um, Anytime we have disruptive technologies, it's very scary to many industries. It's like, the typewriter and the telephone and the internet and what's going to happen to the people that like you go to findlaw.com, or I think that's my friend's site, and you can just download contracts instead of hiring a lawyer. So I think it's like, how are these disruptive technologies going to be an adjunct to what we do? Kind of like writing in ChatGPT, like, maybe it'll give us some like good nuggets. But I'm along for the ride as long as the universe and my clients and my passion for working hard, like as long as those things all still come together, I'm in it until it tells me that I'm not. It's like Titanic captain here, like
Yeah.
go
Well,
down with the ship.
what an analogy.
I don't
Gosh.
know. You wanted some
Titanic?
drama, you wanted some tears.
Yes, but Titanic?
I don't know. I
Gosh.
you haven't heard the last of my analogies. They get weird.
Oh, wow. Well, I want you to speak, please, to three different groups of people.
Okay.
First, I'd like you to speak to the people that are not yet in the industry, but are curious.
I know you have a great voice. I know everybody tells you should do voiceovers, and I know you're good at imitations. This is like the three things that we're always laughing at because everyone's like, people always tell me I have a great voice. We're like, okay, that's a small piece of it. And people are like, oh, people always say I'm like I'm like really funny with imitations. We're like, that's almost none of it. So take a class, like take a legit voiceover class, learn about different types of demos, learn about reads, learn about how to go from a dialogue spot seamlessly to a high energy commercial to a public service announcement. Learn about studio equipment, learn about timing, like take a class. Like, yay, we could all do voiceovers. Like if the line is like, thank you, anybody can say thank you, so take a voiceover class, take an improv class, take to get your skills going, take an acting class, like become somebody who wants to act with their voice, who is willing and able to put in a lot of hard work to do more marketing than voicing.
Okay. Now I want you to speak to the people that are in the industry but are not where you are. It's people that are, doing a lot of work, or maybe on Fiverr. Maybe they've got, a spot here or there, but they're not able to do it full time.
Okay, hold on, I gotta think about that. They're not able to do it full time. Know everybody in the entire world that you can know that hires a voiceover person every day. Make new contacts, network, join associations. It is really all who you know. I The reason I'm the voice of HGTV is because of somebody I met in line at Starbucks at a convention for TV networks. And I was sort of like marketing and like networking with somebody else. He was behind us and she was like, oh, hey, how are you? And he was like, oh, hey, how are you? And she's like, oh, this is my friend Sharon. And I took his card and I put his email address in my newsletter, and I sent out my newsletter for like, I send it out every like 4 months, and he would just write these like snarky responses. And then I would write snarky responses back. And like, he's now become a friend of mine. He's no longer with the network, but at the time they were rebranding and he thought of me. So, okay, it's not all who you know, but like it makes it a hell of a lot easier when you have relationships with people, and relationships are wonderful. It's not just to be an opportunist with everyone you know. I always say like, maybe this person won't hire me, but maybe I'll have an opportunity to give him my kidney one day. Like, I don't know. We're all interconnected, and there's beauty in the relationships regardless of the outcome.
Yeah.
So I definitely think that networking is like it's the next step up.
Speak to your peers.
Oh, I love you guys. I don't know what's going to happen either.
Thanks.
AI, I don't know. Are we being replaced by the machine? I don't know either. Should we all go in and have a group therapy session? No, I mean, my peers are incredible people. They're incredible people. Like it's it's hard. It's a lot of work. It's gutsy to make a living with your voice. And I have just ultimate respect for all the people I know that put in the hard work to make it happen. And I think we all understand the struggles and we all understand the highs, and the highs are really high and the lows are really low. Um, and I learn a lot from them. I learn a lot about a lot of different things. Um, so, but I think we all need each other. I mean, I think like we don't have to be just a club of like experienced people. Like, what can we learn from the Gen Z sound? Like what maybe there's something stylistically that I'm not clued in on, that somebody who's really new at voiceover and really raw, maybe they sound more authentic and I need to learn from them. Um, I think that like when you're in the club of I want to do voiceovers and I'm trying my best. Maybe not I want to, because I want to is like, are you even doing it? But like let's say you're like like somebody's paying you to voice something. From that to the most seasoned 2 million a year, I'm rolling my eyes because I'm like, as a woman, like I want to break that glass ceiling. But to the $2 million, booming male trailer voice, like all of us have something we can learn from one another.
Is there anyone above you that you aspire to speak to, and what would you say to them?
Above me that I would so I am like stupid when it comes to like names and like I don't know who anyone is. I think it's probably protective. Like I somewhat live in my own bubble. So I know people that are in voiceover that are far more successful than me. And I love hate them. And maybe we're like we're like colleagues or whatever. But I think for me it's more like, you know, like the world of like, Pixar and The Simpsons is just like so beyond me. Like I'm not even trying to dream of that stuff right now. Like I'm a single mom and I live in Atlanta, and like that would be like, sure, would I love to be the new Bart Simpson? Like, yeah. But like realistically, what I would love to do is feel secure. I would love to not be like, oh, what's this year gonna look like? And like, can I save for this? Can I save for that? And like, yes, I mean, thank goodness I'm like financially stable, knock on wood, but like, oh, to be the $1 million player. Like, I don't know if there's any women that are making that much. I do know that there are men that are. So for me, I think like the people that I look up to are not like famous. They're people who I happen to know are really, really comfortable. And I would love to taste that. I think every artist would love to taste that. But I feel like I've come this far. Like, how do I get there? And they know who they are. I mean, I've just basically told them that I hate love them.
Yeah, it's okay. Well, let's give them a chance to find you. Where can folks find you?
um, you know, the internets. I'm here
You have a
throughout
website?
I've got a website, SharonFeingold.com. Um, easily Googleable. I have a great agent, Stewart Talent in New York. I have a manager. Her name is Celia Siegel. She's in Minnesota. Um, I'm very hard to not find. I'm right here. I'm ready here, right now.
Sharon Feingold, it was nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I feel like there's something familial going on here. Like,
I don't know.
have we met? I
Who
don't
was your
know.
grandmother?
Well, she died at 104 and a half, if you can believe it.
I can. I can.
So,
Wish I could interview her for this show, but it's too late.
oh,
Yeah.
I the things I wish with grandma, there's a long list of them. But grandma, I do have to say this. She really she always believes in us, but she really like I remember like all I had was like I think a voiceover demo, maybe one job under my belt, and she was firm that I was going to do this. Firm. And so whether that became like a grandma fulfilling prophecy, where because she believed in me, I believed in myself, or maybe she just knew, but she was one of the first people that was like, unbreakably um confident that this was going to happen for me. And
Yeah.
I forgot about that. I mean, I forgot, remembered, but it's been a long time since I've thought about that. It really is helpful for people to light that fire who really believe in you, as you know.
Thank you very much for taking the time to talk. I really enjoyed it.
Me too. You're a great guy.
Oh, thanks. And audience, we hope you think I'm a great guy too. If you like these interviews and if you like being inside my head, please like these videos. Tell your friends. We want to increase the size of our community. We want our family to be bigger. And we want more people to know more about the truth about music. So come back and see us, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, Adam.
Thank you.